whatever.
Hi, we are live. I'm so excited to be here. It's Monday morning, 8 o'clock. We're back to our old time. I'm here with Liz. I'm so excited to chat with my good friend. As you know, every Monday we go live with women from around the globe to chat about things that are important to our heart. And my whole hope was that women would inspire each other with their stories, and that with each story we might find ourselves somehow in it and be able to relate, and that together we'd be able to encourage and also realize that we are valuable right now in this moment, doing whatever we do best, and we're most valuable and have the most influence with those closest to us. And today I am chatting with my good friend Liz, who I met several years ago. In fact, Liz is a Bloody Mary enthusiast, and she introduced me, I think, to my first Bloody Mary and kind of got me excited about that. Liz, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here virtually with you and just to see your face. You know, we don't always get to see each other these days with everything that's going on. So it's always nice to see your face, even if it's through a computer screen. So happy to be here.
Thank you. And Liz and I got to chat during like extreme lockdown. We made sure that we got together and chatted as we did with all our close friends. But Liz, I'm going to start with, before we get into what you do and all the fun questions, what are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for? Oh, gosh. I think, honestly, through this pandemic, I've realized that my life, just overall in general, is really freaking great. And I do have so much to be grateful for. And so today I'm just really grateful for, you know, during these times I have food on my table, food in my fridge, I have a home. I'm not having to stand in a food line and not knowing where my next paycheck's going to come from. I've had a client who took me on as a full-time employee during this time, even though they're a restaurant and struggling themselves. So I'm just grateful for all that. You know, I know that's a lot to be grateful for, but, you know, I kind of have to remind myself of that every day when I start to feel like, oh, this is going wrong or that's going wrong. Like, no, Liz, everything is just perfectly fine. And you've got a pretty extraordinary life. So
I love that. Something I love about you, Liz, is the way you build community and how you influence community and the relationships you've built amongst community. And that probably plays a big part into your job and what you do currently. And something I've seen in San Diego is how well restaurants and businesses have supported each other. The local businesses and the local establishments have really supported each other. And again, you've been a big part of that. I've experienced it with the nonprofit I worked for when you came out and helped us on several occasions, and you give back to your own nonprofit. So let's talk about that. Let's first talk about community. Why is community so important to you?
Community is important because, you know, no matter what you're trying to accomplish in life, it takes a village. You know, nobody can do anything on their own, whether it's, you know, me trying to build this brand or a restaurant trying to stay afloat during a pandemic, or, you know, a woman who's starting a new business. You know, we can't do it alone. It takes a village, and it's really important to have that community and create that community so that, I mean, and this is, I guess that's more, I might explain this wrong, but I think I'm explaining this wrong, but it's important to have support and other people that are going to come together and help each other and lift each other up and support each other. Because without that, you're not going to get very far in life. And I'm always, you know, I'm not the greatest person at sales, but what I've been really great at is building relationships, because that's just naturally who I am, is someone that actually, you know, cares really deeply for other people, feels really deeply for other people, and I guess I'm an how do you say it? Empath or
Are you an empath? You love people and it shows.
And yeah, I just always, you know, I know that I didn't get where I was by myself. So I always want to do what I can to help other people achieve their goals and reach their goals, no matter how small or how big. And yeah, I just, all of us, especially us women, like, you know, we just can't, you can try to do it on your own, but you know, you really need that support in that community. And you know what, I believe that, you know, when one person in the community wins, then we all win. So
It's
yeah.
so cool. It's so true. And you've built several communities. You've built, I can think of 3 off of the top of my head. And you're currently in the process of building your new merchandise brand, which I want to talk to you about that specifically because you're wearing an amazing t-shirt. There's meaning behind it. So why don't we jump into that? Tell us about your brand that you just created and why. What is the importance to what you've done?
So basically, I started the Bloody Mary Obsessed Marketplace, and I started that because my followers, my readers, my friends, I mean, I honestly call most of these people my friends because I chat with people one-on-one through DM all the time. Like, it's always me. It's always me on the other end of any message or email. It's always me that they can reach. And I've, like, yeah, created this Brunchfaced community. So just people who are really enthusiastic about Bloody Marys, the brunch lifestyle, and just, you know, getting together on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, getting around a table, having some good Bloody Marys, some good food, and just enjoying each other's company. And so with the brunch, you know, I have people that are a part of the community all across the country, not just here in San Diego. So I wanted a way for people to be able to feel like they're a part of the community and be a part of that community. And through that is, you know, being able to purchase something like this Brunchers for Equality t-shirt, so that then they can wear it to brunch and, you know, proudly say I'm a part of the Brunchfaced community. And then with this shirt specifically, you've met Jason, a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Jason Gonzalez. He's a photographer, videographer, and also, I didn't even know, he's an artist as well. He can draw, of course. You know, he can do everything artistic pretty well. So, yeah, I worked with him, and he helped me. I had this idea of I wanted something that represented that the Brunchfaced community is a place where it's open for all, and all are a part of the brunch community, whether it doesn't matter what your race, sex, gender, religion, it does not matter what it is. Everyone is welcome in the Brunchfaced community, and it is a community that stands for equality and all that good stuff. So I wanted a shirt that, you know, people could wear proudly and say, like, I love Bloody Marys, but I'm also a fierce believer in equality. And at my table, at my brunch table, we all have a seat. So that's why I had Jason design this, and I think it came out pretty darn good.
I think he did an incredible job. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I was very excited when he first sent me like the sketches on the paper. I was like, oh my God.
And you've done a couple designs. I think I remember that's one of a couple designs. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. I have other designs, and I do have a winter launch that's coming out in a couple weeks that has some holiday stuff in there. Okay. I did the first launch was more of like kind of summer stuff. I do actually have my coffee mug here.
Oh, what does it say?
Sorry, I'm like trying to get this orientation of the camera. Do brunch goals count as life goals? Asking.
Yes. So cute. I love what you're doing. And you've taught me. I remember when I was launching my line, I reached out to you because you're such a supporter, and you taught me a few things that I needed to know. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I actually as content creators, we get reached out to by a lot of brands wanting to collaborate with us. And I've actually kind of talked about that a lot on like my stories and stuff. And I've actually offered to help a lot of people just randomly, not anything formal, but just my experience of working with brands and how to negotiate getting paid for your work, because we do put a lot of time and energy as content creators into our work, and just reaffirming to people to know, especially women. I think most of the people I've talked to have been women, that, your time is valuable. You're valuable, and your time is worth being compensated for. So I just chat with a lot of people on DM, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, a lot about that, and just kind of help them navigate that, so that when they do get approached by brands that want them to create content for them, that they know that their time is, valuable, and that they should not back down or be afraid for asking to be compensated for the work that they do. So
that is such a big lesson. How did you learn that lesson? That's key, especially in social media, really anywhere. But tell me specifically, how did you learn the lesson of valuing your own time?
So I actually learned that from another influencer who's been, she's kind of like, we call her the Queen of Bloody Marys. My friend Shelly from the Drunken Tomato. We became friends several years ago when I first entered the space. And now she's one of my best friends, and we work on so many projects together. And since meeting, when we met back at a Bloody Mary festival in Los Angeles several years ago, she's the one that taught me that. And then I think that kind of goes back to like that community and that village, that it takes a village. Like, I wouldn't have known, like so many of the people that now ask me about it, I wouldn't have known, and just assume that like, someone sending me a $7 product and then asking me for, work with the blog posts, pictures, all that stuff, taking me almost a full day's work, I would just think that that was okay to just accept that and not be compensated for my time. And she definitely is the one that, was like, no, like, don't do that. Value yourself, Liz. And honestly, and at that time I had hardly any followers. I think maybe 1,000 at the most. And, I just kept thinking, I'm too small. Like, no. And she was like, no, like, you gotta ask for what you want too. That's another thing that she instilled or kind of helped me understand, is you have to ask. You have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, then you're probably not going to get it. So that's something else. But yeah, she was definitely the one who taught me that early on, when I was just little baby.
I have so many questions about this. Okay. You talked about valuing yourself, and you talked about asking for what you want. Tell me what that looks like.
So with with the valuing yourself, I think it just, I've talked to other influencers too, where, they've said, well, I felt like I was too small, or I wasn't big enough, or I couldn't provide enough value. And sometimes that's just the sheer thing about, it's just like the numbers, and I just didn't think it was possible. And then other times it is people that just, they have told me I didn't have the confidence to, ask, because I didn't think that I was worth it. And that obviously, and of course I can tell people like, yes, I always tell them like, yes, you are worth it. You're valuable, like, absolutely. And the worst thing, and I always tell people too, like, the worst thing is that they just say no. And that's okay. And I think that's something too that you have to learn too, is just because they say no, it doesn't mean anything. It's nothing against you personally as about who you are and how valuable you are. Those just aren't the right people to work with. You want to work with the people who, when you say, okay, yes, I need to be compensated for the work I do, that they're excited and want to work with you. And so I just tell people that's okay. Like it's okay. Like I used to do door-to-door sales, so I used to get a lot of rejection in my life. You know, a lot of doors slammed in my face, a lot of no's. And what we learned there is, you know, you just need that one person that says yes. Like you just need, those are your people. All the other no's are leading you to your yes.
Yeah. So, have you found that when you value yourself, other people value you more?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And that kind of goes to the, if you don't ask for it, if you do work for free, then of course they're going to take the work for free. Like they're going to take it. They're not going to say, oh, wait, let me pay you instead. So I think that, yeah, it's important that you ask for it. And then, like I said, when you ask for anything in life, you know, especially as women, you know, if they say no or you don't get a response or whatever, then and that's just something I just keep telling people, it's okay. It's okay. It's not about you. It's about them. They don't value you. So you don't need to work with these people. You don't need to be affiliated with them. And then that just opens the door. Instead of spending all this time working for free for people who don't value your time, you might miss opportunities to work with people who do value you and do value your time. And so it just opens the door to more possibilities and opportunities to, and I think that's what, you know, even if it's not work related to, just negative things in your life that, you know, you keep saying yes to. Once you stop saying yes to those things, it opens the doors and possibilities to all the things that could go right, all the positive things that could come into your life. So I think it's all kind of intertwined. Did that answer the question? I know.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think as women, we're all learning the importance of valuing ourselves, the importance of boundaries, the importance of just talking to people like you and surrounding ourselves with people who are cheerleaders. Because when we surround ourselves with people who are cheerleaders and who build and encourage, we're more likely to keep moving forward and step into maybe what our purpose is or what we enjoy, or we just feel better about ourselves, I think. Yeah. And I know I have seen you personally be a good friend to our entire community. And that kind of leads me into part of what you do with your brand is you give back to a nonprofit. Can you tell us why, who you chose, and your reasoning behind that?
You mean for the marketplace?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I teamed up with the San Diego Housing Federation, which they strive to provide equitable and affordable housing for all San Diegans. As you know, living in San Diego, the cost of living is very high, very high. So, and especially during these times, you know, it can be very difficult for people to be able to afford to live here. And so they just work with it in communities that, you know, might have more people living in poverty or under the poverty line to help get them resources to be able to afford to live in this city. And so that kind of went with, you know, for me, the equality for brunchers, you know, that kind of went hand in hand for me because they want equality in housing for San Diegans. And, you know, I think they also work with, you know, trying to change policy and things like that, and laws and all that stuff that obviously affects all different kinds of communities. So they work on stuff like that as well. And yeah, they're just working to make sure everyone in San Diego has a roof over their head and can afford a roof over their head. So
it's so vital. I think San Diego we're in the top percentage. I think we're like the top 5 cities in the entire nation with the most people living outside of a home. And so the fact that you're able to give back in that way is very inspiring, and to work with the community, to be a voice, is very inspiring. Something that this entire conversation is reminding me of is learning to love ourselves. Can you tell me how you've learned to love yourself, whether it was through action or through friendship, or just an example of what it means to love yourself and how you've learned that?
Whew. Well,
and we like to go deep, but we do this, Liz.
I know. I mean, honestly, it's an ongoing thing. I think for anyone, I'm sure even men as well, like it's an ongoing process, loving yourself is definitely, it's an ongoing process. I think a lot of it too comes with age and experience, and honestly, even this pandemic too, just like I mentioned earlier, just you start to think about what really matters and what's really important, and you kind of stop sweating the small things, because you're just looking at the bigger picture of, what's happening in this country, and you just realize that, some of the things that, you might have got upset about before are kind of trivial compared to other things. But with loving myself, it's a process, but
it's a journey.
It's a journey, but I think it's just learning to let go of things that don't serve you, whether that's people, things, places, just learning to let go of those things.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. And then gratitude helps a lot. Just, I like to write down things that I'm grateful for in the morning, like that helps. And this is like a tough question, because I don't know that
it's such a process and a journey.
I don't know if there's any way that I don't know how to give advice on how to love yourself, except just to start trying. And like I said, just reminding yourself of what you're grateful for, reminding yourself that you are valuable, that you matter, that your voice matters. And you just have to keep reminding yourself of those things. And then also just, surrounding yourself with good people, that helps a lot too. Surround yourself with people that weigh you down, or, don't believe in you or don't treat you well, then I think that really, especially as women, I think that can really hinder you loving yourself. So it's a whole combination of things. I wish I had a better answer, but it's a process. You just gotta keep reminding yourself that,
I see you do it with boundaries you set. I see you do it with people you surround yourself. And I see you do it with how you celebrate other people. And it's very inspiring to watch. What matters most to your heart, Liz?
Oh boy. What matters most? What matters most to me? Honestly, just being a good person really matters to me. I just want people to feel, when people come cross paths with me, whether it's for, what's the quote, like a season, the quote, I don't know the quote, but whether it's for a short period of time, just a brief moment, or they're my friends for a lifetime, or family, or whatever, I want them to walk away feeling like, just feeling good. I don't want people to, associate me with feeling bad, and just being a good person. I think, like, I think it's just important to put good intentions and good vibes out there in the world. And something is, I just try to just work hard, be positive, which, sometimes I struggle, I'm human. Sometimes I struggle with that, but, just working hard, being positive, and just just trying to put that out there. And I think that, people, these are hard questions.
What? You like to go deep.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I should have I needed to think about this, and no, but then it wouldn't be authentic.
Something, can I add this? Something that I love to watch is the relationship between you and your husband, because you're both very inspirational in the community, and you do it differently, but you both very much inspire. And so I was going to ask you who inspires you, but I think you might inspire each other. Can you tell me about that? How you inspire your husband and how he inspires you?
Sure. I mean, definitely going back to the positive thing, he is one of the most positive people in the entire world that I've ever met. And so that has definitely rubbed off on me a lot. And he's really helped me become a lot more positive person. Because he just always, I don't know, he's just so positive and can look at everything positively, and he's a problem solver. So he's just really good at solving problems and just looking at why things can work versus why they won't work. He always looks for the solution rather than, the objection or the roadblock or whatever. So he's definitely inspired me in that way, just how positive he is. And then he's also, I know it's crazy, my company is Bloody Mary Obsessed, but he's coming up on 10 years sober at the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really inspiring to me, because even though I'm not a sober person, I don't really drink that often anymore, but I do still enjoy Bloody Mary here and there. It's just really inspiring that he can have that, to me, to have that kind of dedication to something, and just overcome something like that, and be 10 years in. That's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. I don't know that I've given up anything for 10 years completely ever in my life. So, that's super inspiring. And I think for the other way around, me inspiring him, I think just, my sympathy and because he can be kind of a hard ass sometimes. I think my sympathy and empathy for other people and my intuition on just being in tune with other people's feelings, I think, is what inspires him, because he often has a team of, whether it's interns or salespeople. And so I think he's been successful with that because he's been able to just connect with them on a deeper level than just boss and employee.
Mm-hmm.
And I think me just being who I am, I think that's rubbed off on him when he approaches, people that he has relationships with, whether it's professional or not professional. So I think that has rubbed off on him and inspired him to, just be more sympathetic or empathetic towards other people.
Yeah. I want to get to the last question, and I'm excited about this because I've seen your voice inspire change and inspire action, and you do this in everything you do, through your merchandise, through your line, through your brand, through your blog. In these times that people are finding very challenging What advice do you have for women today?
My advice, I mean, I could have a whole slew of advice, but my advice for, especially because tomorrow is the election, is to get out and vote. Like, that is the most important thing. Know that your voice matters, your voice needs to be heard, and that you do have a say. And that it is very, very important to get out and vote and make your voice heard. And so, yeah, I would say that right now, that's the most pertinent thing, is to get out and vote and make your voice heard, because, no one else is going to stand up for us but us. So we have to stand up for ourselves. And the way that we're going to do that right now in this current climate is getting to the polls tomorrow and voting. So
thank you. Liz, where can we find you online? Where can all of our friends find you?
Okay, so you can find my blog, which has my marketplace, has fun recipes to try, has my guides, my reviews, all that fun stuff on www.bloodymaryobsessed.com. And then Instagram, Bloody Mary Obsessed, Pinterest, it's Bloody Mary Obsessed. Twitter, I'm honestly not too active on Twitter, to be honest. And then same with Facebook. I have a Facebook community, Bloody Mary Obsessed. And then I do have a TikTok as well. I'm not like I'm still trying to figure out TikTok, but I'm trying to be hip and get on TikTok.
I still haven't figured TikTok out. My kids are on it. I haven't figured it out yet. Liz, thank you so much for being here. I want everyone to go check out what you do, because you are constantly uniting community, bringing women together, and you invite everyone to be part of what you do and sit at your table. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. I love seeing you in the community. Let's hang out again soon, even if it's just virtually. Yeah. Thank you, Liz, for being here. Thank you, people, for all of our friends for watching. Markel, I love you. Thank you for being here. Ring, thank you for being here. We will see you next Monday live. Talk to you soon.
So thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Fun.